सर्ववेदांत सिद्धांत गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविंदं परमानंदं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। विवेक चूडामणि श्लोक 114। प्रज्ञावानपि पंडितोऽपि चतुरोऽप्यत्यन्तसूक्ष्मार्थदृक् व्यालीढस्तमसा न वेत्ति बहुधा सम्बोधितोऽपि स्फुटम् भ्रान्त्यारोपितमेव साधु कलयत्यालम्बते तद्गुणान् हन्तासौ प्रबलादुरन्ततमसः शक्तिर्महत्यावृतिः। The author is discussing three gunas of Maya. We have already seen Rajoguna. Rajoguna has Vikshepa Shakti. After Rajoguna, we are looking into Tamas, Tamoguna. Tamoguna has Avarana Shakti. Avarana Shakti is necessary for the working of Vikshepa Shakti. Vikshepa Shakti cannot work without the help of Avarana Shakti. Our Swarupa, our true nature is Ananda. Free from samsara, free from dukkha. Avarana Shakti veils our Swarupa. In addition to this, Avarana Shakti makes us mistake the body for our true self. Dehe Atmatva Buddhi. Taking the body Atma. This is a mistake, an error. This is caused by Avarana Shakti. In addition to this, the same Avarana Shakti makes us conceive the world as real. The world is superimposed on Brahman Therefore, the world is mithya, jagan mithya. Because of avarana shakti, we take the jagat to be satya. Jagati satyatva buddhi. This is another function of avarana shakti. Dehe atmatva buddhi and jagati satyatva buddhi. This is all because of avarana shakti. So, because of avarana shakti, we take the world to be real. When we attribute reality to the world, we look upon the world as promising. The world can give us happiness. This is another mistake we commit. This much is the work of avarana shakti. Taking the world to be real and looking at the world as promising. Then Vikshepa Shakti starts working. Once we look at the world as promising, once we think the world can give happiness, we start saying, I want the world. It is kama, desire. I want it. It is a function of Vikshepa Shakti. I want this, I want that. Then, if somebody takes away what we want, then there is anger, krodha, another function of Vikshepa Shakti. And all other emotional issues, kama, krodha, lobha, and so on. Desire, anger, greed, jealousy, they are all the manifestation of Vikshepa Shakti, products of Vikshepa Shakti. That is how Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti together cause samsara. Now, the author continues discussion of Avarana Shakti. The author is wondering at the power of Avarana Shakti. How powerful Avarana Shakti is. because the Avarana Shakti deludes everyone in the world. That is why a vast majority of the people in the world are looking for happiness in the external material objects. Though the perennial source of happiness is already within, we keep looking for happiness in the material world. And we keep struggling for happiness endlessly. It is not only so with an unintelligent person, with a dull person, even the most intelligent person in the world is deluded. And even if you try to teach Vedanta to the most intelligent person, most often there is a possibility that he does not understand the truth. He may be wise, he may be intelligent as far as other things are concerned. But when it comes to the spiritual truth, he fails to see because the Avarana Shakti is very powerful. See the verse. Prajnavanapi panditopi chaturaha. A prajnavan, an intelligent person. He has very high IQ, intelligence quotient. Perhaps he has received a rank in the exams. Very highly intelligent person. Prajnavan, api, even though he is a very intelligent person. Panditopi, he is a pandita. Not only he is intelligent, he is highly educated. He has received degrees after degrees. Well informed. Highly learned. Chaturaha. He is a clever person. A worldly wise person. He knows how to handle a situation. He knows how to derive maximum benefit from a situation. He knows how to make use of other people for his benefit. Such a person is called Chaturaha, a worldly wise person. A worldly wise person need not be spiritually wise, because spiritual wisdom is very much different from worldly wisdom. Atyanta Sukshmarthadrak. He is able to understand very subtle things. Atyanta Sukshmartha. Very subtle things he is able to understand. His mind and senses are very refined. He might have done research on subatomic particles, photons, protons, electrons, neutrons, bosons, photons, on so many subtle things he is able to discuss for hours. Because the mind is very subtle, very sharp. When it comes to the material objects. But when it comes to spiritual truth, even such a person is deluded, because even his mind is covered by tamas, the avarana shakti of tamas. Vyalidhas tamasa, tamasa vyalidha. Concealed, veiled by tamas, by the avarana shakti of tamas. Therefore, he is deluded. He has bhranti, bhrantya. Vyalidhas tamasa is in the second pada. Then I go to third pada, bhrantya. Because of bhranti, because of delusion, aropitam eva sadhu kalayati. The aropita, the superimposed, the whole universe is aropita. It is superimposed on Brahman. Therefore, it is mithya. It is unreal. But this person takes it to be real. Aropitam eva sadhu kalayati. Sadhu kalayati. He conceives it as real. He attributes reality to the world. Then tad gunan alambate, he holds on the positive qualities of the world. Guna means some positive quality. In this context, guna doesn't mean sattva, rajas, tamas. Guna is a positive quality. Dosha is a negative quality, a limitation. He holds on to the positive quality of the universe. The universe is beautiful. The universe can give me happiness. The universe can give me security. It can be anything in the world. Money can give me happiness. Money is good. Relations are good. Relations can give me happiness. And so on. As long as we see the positive traits of the universe, we continue expecting happiness from the world. Because we do not see the limitations of the world. We do not see the dosha of the world. As long as we don't see the dosha of the world, we are attracted by the world. Guna, when we see the guna, we are attracted. Guna produces raga. Guna darshanam produces raga. Whereas dosha darshanam produces vairagya. When I say dosha darshanam, it doesn't mean fault finding. Oh, he is not good, he is not good. We keep complaining, we keep gossiping. That is not dosha darshanam. Dosha darshanam means being aware of the limitations of the worldly objects, the impermanence, etc. So, generally, people see guna in various objects in the world. People find the material objects as promising. Money is promising. Money can keep me happy. Relations are promising. Relations can give me happiness. Son can keep me happy. Daughter can keep me happy. and so on. This is guna alamban. We hold on to the visible, the apparent, promising nature of the world. Without being aware of the limitations, the impermanence of the material objects. Alambate tadgunan. He holds on to the promising nature of the material objects. Therefore, he pursues the material objects for happiness. Therefore, generally, he does not come to spiritual pursuit. He does not make any effort to understand the spiritual truth. When I say spiritual truth, I mean the Atma, the Brahman. Now, sometimes some people are attracted to the spiritual teaching, Vedanta. It is very rare. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschidyatati siddhaye. One among several thousands of people come for moksha. Make some effort for moksha. So this person, because of some special punya, he comes for Vedanta. He tries attending Vedanta session, Viveka Chodamani. Then the Swami teaches him, you are Brahman, Jagat is Mithya. Most often, even he does not understand. I am talking about a very intelligent, highly educated person. Even such a person may not understand. Even if he is taught several times in several different ways, that is what the author says. See, second pada. Naveti bahudha sambodhito pisphutam. Bahudha sambodhitah api. Sambodhitah. He is taught the truth. You are Brahman. And this teaching is done in many ways. The same vision is conveyed in so many ways. That is why we have so many texts. We have so many Upanishads and so many Prakarana Granthas and so many chapters of Bhagavad Gita. All these are conveying the same truth in different ways. So he has been studying Vedanta. He has completed so many texts. Bahudha sambodhitaha sputam na veti. He does not understand with the clarity. Sputam, clearly. Spashtam, na veti. He does not understand. It can happen with the most intelligent person in the world. Why is it? The author says it is the power of Avarana Shakti. Hantasau prabala duranta tamasaha shaktirmahatyavritihi. Hanta, alas. It is an exclamation of wonder. Hanta. Asau durantatamasah mahati prabala avratihi shaktihi. This is the Avarana Shakti, Avrati Shakti. Avratihi is same as Avaranam. This Avarana Shakti is very prabala, very strong, not easy to remove it, not easy to get rid of it. It is Mahati Shakti. It is very vast power. It covers the whole universe. Not only one or two people. Therefore, Mahati Shakti. It is universal. Everyone in the world is deluded by Avarana Shakti. Therefore, Mahati Shakti. And this Avarana Shakti belongs to Tamas, Duranta Tamasaha. Tamas is referred to as Duranta. Dukkhena antaha yasya tat durantam. It is not easy to put an end to tamas. Therefore, duranta. It continues on and on and on. Shloka 115. Abhavana va viparita bhavana asambhavana vipratipattirasyah samsargayukta तन्न विमुञ्चति ध्रुवम् विक्षेपशक्तिः क्षपयत्यजस्रम्. Even the most intelligent person does not understand. Even if he listens to Vedanta, even if he listens to the teaching. Why is it so? The author explains. When a person listens to Vedanta, the Avarana Shakti can obstruct the understanding, the clear understanding, by creating 4 types of obstacles. The 4 obstacles are discussed in the shloka. The first one is abhavana. Abhavana means no understanding takes place. Non-understanding. Suppose you bring your friend and ask him to listen to the Swami, at least one class of Viveka Chudamani. Generally, people will refuse because they are not interested. Some people are even allergic to the Swami. Oh, I don't like Swamis. Some people are allergic to anything religious because they are secular people. Yet this person, your friend, yielded. He is a very highly accomplished person. I am talking about a highly accomplished person, very intelligent, very successful person, perhaps. And you make him listen to one talk of Viveka Chudamani. He sits for 1 hour. After the class, you ask him, how do you feel? Then he says, I didn't understand anything. It didn't make any sense to me. It is possible because even to get a vague understanding of what the Swami says, one has to listen properly at least for a few months. Nowadays, people want everything in the form of a 2 minutes video. It is not possible when it comes to Vedanta. One has to listen to it hours after hours after hours. Then slowly they start making sense. Now this gentleman says, it doesn't make any sense to me. And sometimes he might put the blame on the Swami. This Swami doesn't know how to speak. And he disappears. He doesn't come back. It is abhavana. It doesn't make any sense. Then viparita bhavana. It is another possibility. The Swami says something, this person understands something different. Most often, this happens. I have observed this happening. The Vedanta says, you are Brahman. Then people take it in a different way. I am Brahman. Therefore, I can do whatever I want. I need not follow any values. I need not do any sadhana because I am Brahman. And they start quoting it as per their convenience. Why I should follow certain rules when I am Brahman? I am spiritual, so I need not be bothered about rituals. Very often we hear such things. This is viparita bhavana. The person understands something different from what is being said. There is a story of Virochana and Indra in chapter 8 of Chandogya Upanishad. When the Guru teaches the Atma, Virochana understands the body as Atma. The body is Atma. Therefore, take care of the body very well. That is how Virochana understands. It is Viparita Bhavana. Therefore, one has to be very careful about these things. The Avarana Shakti can cause Viparita Bhavana sometimes. Therefore, we should verify whether we have whether our understanding is correct or not. We should verify. Then asambhavana. It is number 3. Asambhavana. Bhavana. I prefer to take Asambhavana. Some people split it as Sambhavana. I prefer to take it as Asambhavana because if you look at the shloka, Viparita Bhavana Sambhavana, it can be split either as Viparita Bhavana plus Sambhavana or Viparita Bhavana plus Asambhavana. Both are okay. I prefer to take it as Asambhavana with an A. Asambhavana means doubting, not getting convinced. Swamiji, you say I am Brahman, but I am not convinced. There are so many doubts how I can be Brahman. It doesn't seem to be possible. This is another possibility. Then fourth one is Vipratipatti. The person does not agree at all with the teaching of Vedanta. Because he has his own preconceived ideas and he holds on to the preconceived ideas. And sometimes such person can start arguing. You say everything is Brahman, but it is not so. I know better. Such people can start arguing. It is Vipratipatti. Viruddha Pratipatti. An opposite understanding. A counter understanding. Such people become Purvapakshis. There is objection to the teaching of Vedanta. So these are the four obstacles